Welcome to Paranormal Crossings into the light. Today we have a very special show. As you can see, there's not one, not two, not three. How many? Four. You know, I don't have to look at just these ugly guys. I get to look at this beautiful woman that's with us today. We have in studio, that's right, not video. Wait, wipe your eyes. No, in your lens. It's June Lundgren. That's right. Psychic medium, world renowned.
And Demon
Seer, author, healer, and also animal communicator, June Lundgren. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I've known you for years.
Oh, yeah.
A long time.
A long time.
Yes. And so thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, before we get started, we have some unfinished business. And what is that?
Your Bigfoot and Dogman.
Yes. So last week, we had a little bit of a discussion about, it was a story that you brought up. You did this. You started this. It's your fault. I had to go back and watch this because you two kept telling me, I can't believe how you just went off. And so I thought, well, did I really go? Yeah, I did. It was kind of the thought process. And it's not that I went off. It was one of those things that, it's the thought process that we all have. It's like somebody says something and then you start processing it. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. And that was one of those things, June. So, and we'll fill you in, which we have to hear. We have to have you weigh in on this because I would love to hear your take on what you think about these two these two creatures. I don't know what else to call them.
Cryptids.
Cryptids. There you go. Perfect. I like that better.
Would you like me to give the rundown?
Why don't you give the
short version? The short version.
Short version on what happened and how we came to my little blow up. And so
I was at Fred Meyer's a while back. Older woman walks up, sees my Bigfoot tattoo, says, "Hey, you like Bigfoot?" Yeah, we saw Bigfoot in Backwoods of Scappoose a while back. She goes, "Oh yeah, I feed him out of the back porch." She's got a farm up in the woods. She apparently puts apples and stuff outside. And the Bigfoot family comes down. They grab all the stuff, and she just sits out there and watches him like it was a deer coming through the yard. Then she tells me that, "Oh yeah, I see dogmen too," and it comes through, and the dogmen and the Bigfoot are fighting each other for territory. And then she leaves, and I tried to chase after her and I couldn't catch her.
She drops this bomb.
She drops a bombshell, doesn't give a name, nothing, just there you go. See you later. Okay, bye-bye.
Now he tells this story on the show. And first time I heard this story on the show, and my brain, the way it's working is I heard it, but it didn't really register. And all of a sudden I'm thinking, wait a minute, this woman is feeding Bigfoot like she's feeding deer, a deer family. And then he brings in Dogman and they're fighting over territory. And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on here? This woman's talking like it's a normal everyday thing. She mentions Bigfoot and Dogman and they're fighting over territory in the backwoods of Scappoose. And I'm thinking, what in the hell is going on? So anyway, so that was my thought process. And I kind of my thoughts came out of my mouth like that. And so, yeah, you know me, June. So, yeah. So anyways, so maybe you can weigh in on this a little bit.
I don't know about Dogman, but I have been in connection with Sasquatch up in Trout Lake, Washington. I took a trip up there and went to the ranch.
Is it Isetti?
Yeah, yeah. And I was like minding my own business, and then all of a sudden I'm picking up telepathically on something or someone. And I had to step back and see what I could see from the outside telepathically. And it was evidently what I would call a Bigfoot. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's like, he's like, I don't want anything to do with you humans. Stay away from us. We don't want any trouble. Why do you bother us? That type of situation. I told him, I said, not me. I said, I don't bother anybody. And he says, I asked him, is this your main form of communication, telepathic? And he said, yes. So in one way, they're evolved beyond humans in the way that the telepathic communication is very clear. But yet their verbal is not so clear.
Mm.
But it was interesting. I said, well, stay back in the woods and stay away from the people and you'll be okay.
Is this how you're not the first person I've heard say that they can communicate telepathically. Is this how they normally try it to communicate? Do they try this with other humans, or is it just psychic mediums?
They try to, but of course, it falls
Not
on
all.
deaf ears, so to speak,
Sure.
But that's their main form of communication.
Mm-hmm.
The verbal is just like, this is my territory, get the heck out of it, don't even come here. That type of, when they make the sounds, that's what they're trying to say. Because a lot of humans can't or won't communicate telepathically. So.
Okay. And now, was there a family of Bigfoot, or?
It was him. It was a male.
Mhm.
And from what I can see in his mind, he did have family.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't ask anything about that. It was just a short communication, enough to say, hi.
Right.
I don't mean you any harm. I'm going to leave you alone, and ask him, a couple of questions. But he was okay with that, and then he shut down afterwards. So it's like, okay, fine.
Wow. Was that your only encounter with a Bigfoot?
Yeah. I've been able to sense them, and I just basically leave them alone because, he says that that's what we want. We don't want any interaction with you, with humans.
Have they always been here?
Yeah. Been here
Before
a long time.
us?
Long before us.
Interesting. And now you've never seen a dogman?
No.
Or know anything about them?
Or not communicate with them, no.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Interesting. So, with that said, let's close that portion of last week, because we are going to get more into the Dogman in future shows.
We'll develop a whole show around Dogman and Bigfoot, and
definitely. So I just wanted to know what your take was on that.
Yeah.
We're not here for Dogman and Bigfoot. We're here for demons.
Exactly.
All right.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Which you've been on the original Paranormal Crossings a couple of times,
Years
a
ago.
few times,
Yeah.
And so, why don't you explain to us a little bit about what you do, who you are, and you know what I mean by who you are. So maybe you can explain a little bit about that.
All my life, I've been able to see demons and understand them and communicate with them, but I basically kept to myself for a long time. And when I was about 4.5, 5, I used to see demons as a little child, and like other humans do, in a mass or a shadow, that type of thing. And around 4 or 5, it morphed, and I could see them in their true form. And I was scared at first. And Michael has been with me since I was born, so he came in and he said, don't worry about it. He says, you're seeing them as an angel sees them.
Explain who Michael is.
Michael the Archangel. He's been with me in all my lifetimes. But they said, I will protect you. Don't worry about it until you're ready, And so growing up, I seen them. I didn't communicate with them. I just observed them, because he told me, I want you to observe them. I want you to see how they work. I want you to see what they do. So from the time I was 5 on, that's what I did.
Weren't you scared?
No.
At the time?
No.
5 years old?
Yeah, not after that. Not after Michael said, don't worry about it. I won't let them hurt you. Mm-hmm. They won't even be able to see you. So, Michael's been with me. I trusted him. And he told my grandmother the same thing. Don't worry about it. She'll be okay. And then I was hit by a car on my motorcycle in 1988. I wasn't wearing a helmet, so shame on me. But at the time, I wore a full face, and it would have snapped my neck the way I was hit. So I was clinically dead for 2 minutes, And I went to the other side. My grandparents were there, which was awesome. And then Michael was there. And he said, you need to understand who and what you are. And I'm like, because I had just crossed, I was still in my physical consciousness, the mindset. He says, this is not who you are. And he touched my forehead, and I relived all 130 lives that I had lived before.
Wow.
And then he said, look at yourself. And I looked down, and I didn't look like I did in the physical world. I was like 7 feet tall. I had the 12-foot wingspan, and I had like dark auburn hair and greenish blue eyes. And he says, this is who you truly are. He said, you're Ariel the Archangel. And I had no clue who Ariel was. But he said, you have been sent back into the physical world time after time until you learn to have compassion for mankind. You've lost that. Somewhere along the millennia that you've lived, you've lost it. So he showed me what happened. He showed me that in 1198 AD, a woman called out for help to God because she was possessed by a demon. And Ariel was sent. And Ariel was like, stupid human, why did you summon it? And she was mad because the human had summoned it and expected her to clean up the mess. So she reached into the human and pulled the demon out, ripped the demon out of her. And the body died. And God was not pleased with that. And he said, you have no compassion for man. You have no consideration. He says, you're going to go back and live human lives until you learn to have compassion for mankind. And she's like, no, anything but the shell. And he's like, nope, that's what you have to do. So this is lifetime number 131.
Wow.
So people say that when people see me when I do a removal, that I physically change. I've had some people say, I see wings coming out of your shoulders, your eyes turn white, you look younger, your voice changes. And it's like, people ask me, do you know? I was like, no, I'm a little busy removing the demon. I don't care. I don't have a mirror. I don't care. I'm a little busy. But so when I came back to life, I looked up on the internet, who's Ariel? And all I could find was her name means Lion of God, and that she's one of the 5 that guard the throne of God. So Michael says, you need to understand her. You need to merge with her so that she can hear your thoughts. You can hear her thoughts, see what she sees, hear what she hears. So he did a merge, and I see what she sees, and I hear what she hears. I know what she knows. So if somebody contacts me and says, hey, there's a demon, I think there's a demon here, this is what's happening. And I tell them, send me a picture, because if I have a picture, because I can automatically know what's there. But if I get a picture, it makes the connection stronger. And she's like, this is what's there. This is how long it's been there. This is why it's there. And this is what it's doing. And that all that information comes into my head. And then I can do the removal from a distance. So a lot of times I can't get to the person. I've, removed them as far away as the Netherlands, Australia. If I have a picture, it's all it takes. And then I do the removal. And, a lot of times they're just removed. But if they piss Ariel off, then she kills them. So there you go.
Wow. Well, I can definitely verify that you change. There is a change. I've been with you many times. Well, many times. The first time that happened kind of freaked me out. And I was there as a minister to assist.
The possession case?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
Yeah. It was like watching a movie, but being there without cameras. And I'll never forget that. I mean, I'm sure you don't remember, but but during that, at one point, it was getting really heavy, and it was scary. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, there was a lot of prayer, a lot going on at one time.
Yeah.
You were standing behind this person, and then out of nowhere, and it was you, but it was Ariel. It had to have been Ariel.
Yeah.
And turn your head and look right at me, and it was not your eyes. And the words that came out of your mouth, it was not your voice, and you said, "Start praying." But it was the voice,
Yeah.
and it wasn't you, and it wasn't your eyes. And I grabbed my Bible, and so did the other person. I don't know if we should mention the other person, but the other person who was there also to assist, and we both just heavily started praying. But I'll never forget that. I mean, I've never seen anybody morph into another person in a way. I have seen the wing before, but yeah, I've never experienced anything. The things I've experienced with you over the years, I can truly say, I mean, honestly, I have never seen anything like this before.
Well, I'm not boring,
firsthand.
at least.
No, you want to live a movie? Hang out with June. I'm not kidding. But the one thing I'll say is that you get the results, and you always say it's not me.
No.
That's the one thing I love about you, is that you're extremely humble, and you're the first person to say that it's not me, it's God. You know,
I'm the conduit.
Exactly. And I've always loved that about you. And so, because there's a lot of people out there who say, well, I will do this and I will do that. Well, good for you. You know, that's great, you know, but it's God.
Yeah, and Ariel is the servant of God.
Yeah.
And he's always had kind of like a soft spot for her,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like he says, she knows what to do. She gets the job done. And I don't have to second guess.
Yeah.
Because I know if she's assigned a job, it'll be done. That's it.
It's hard in the beginning when I first met you and you talked about all these things. I thought, okay, I know I'm in the paranormal. I've met a lot of people, but boy, this is a lot, you know.
Mhm.
But seeing is believing. And then once I got to know you, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I've never seen anything like this before, or known anyone like this before firsthand. You know.
And then you call me after the show. He's like
Yeah.
listening to the show, and because I told him, I said, "You're going to hear something in the show."
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hear that demon scream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever talked about that publicly
Yeah.
after that
I don't
show.
think so. Yeah.
But yeah, that was incredible. One of these days, we'll play the audio. I'll have to get it to you, Andrew, and we'll play a clip of the show, and then we'll play the audio back, because it is incredibly insane. It really is. But anyways, we won't build that up right now
They
until
don't
we
like to
have
be
it.
killed or sent back.
No, they don't. No. So anyway,
Okay, I want to touch on something. You said 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
And
12-foot wingspan. Yeah.
All right, so we first met at the Klondike
Mhm.
when I met Aaron.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, Oregon Goes Conference, Oregon City, once Rocky got his tours going, people were like, "Oh, aren't you going to go talk to June?" I'm like, "I can't." Why?
I don't bite.
She's giant. There's so much energy off of this woman. I can't talk to her. And they're like, "What do you mean energy?" I'm like, "She may be short, but her energy level
is high.
is high." Because
That's Ariel. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Is I guess my spirit guides don't really mesh with your spirit guides, because they're like, hi, we're just gonna go over there.
Yeah.
don't hurt us, please.
Because they all kind of like, she is big news, and nobody wants to piss her off, and she's in like a whole nother caliber, and so they give her that respect, that space, and it's like, that's fine, I don't care. Whatever you say. I mean, personally, it's like, it's fine. I don't have an issue with it, but the other guides and guardians have issues, because they're like, oh, yeah, it's okay. We'll just be up here in the corner waiting. No problem.
Oh, we didn't mean to piss you off. We're over there.
But I think that kind of goes along the lines with a lot of people think that they can't approach you, though.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
And
I mean,
they think, well, she's kind of mean,
Right.
or
Hey.
gruff or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It-
when
it's
Ariel
that
comes forward,
perception.
Yeah.
when Ariel comes forward, people see that, because she has little patience for humans.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of some of the stuff that's going, I mean, she's lived billions of years. And she's seen the evolution of man, and she's seen them, summon demons and, kill each other and things like that. And she has no love for that.
Mm.
So I have a friend in England whose husband died while she was in the hospital having surgery. And she asked me, she said, can you have Ariel bring John, that was her husband that died, to see me? And I'm like, yeah, no problem. And she said, that night, she said, Ariel appeared and John was beside her. And she said, if I didn't know any better, she said, I would be afraid of her because she's fierce looking. And I told her, I said, she has to be. She battles demons. She has to be. And she said, but her eyes, he said, that's the difference. Her eyes were good.
Mm.
And she says, and I could feel my husband. Said it was the greatest thing.
Yeah.
It was good.
The thing I do have to say is I can understand why people feel that way. But once people get to know you, it's totally different. You have the biggest heart of anybody I know, and just kindness,
Yeah,
So if people get past that crap,
yeah, if they get past
it's the first
the demons
initial
here part,
yeah.
then it's like, I've always been easygoing. I've always been had a big heart. I've always cared, I'll go out of my way to help somebody because, if they need help, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I may get screwed a couple times, but, at least I help.
Yeah.
Has there been any cases or instances where you were unable to help remove a demon?
No.
You've been able to?
Yeah. Oh. Even possessions.
We really should have had her with the Tigered House.
Oh, she probably would have said, why am I here?
She would have pinpointed it like that.
She would have known
True.
before we got there. See, that's the problem, though. See, then there's no investigation.
Yeah,
there's
so
no,
okay. No, I just keep my mouth shut. And let you guys do your thing, and I say,
Yeah. We kind of pretty much knew in a way. After we were there for a bit, we were like,
yeah,
there's something kind of fishy.
Off.
Yeah. So, but as far as I want to hear more about the. Do you have any more questions about the demon seer part?
Not yet, but I got more.
Go ahead.
Later.
Okay.
Later on here, man.
We haven't really talked a whole lot about the animal communicator part. So tell me, because you're like me and you, we're all animal lovers. And tell me more about the animal communicator part. When did that come about? Has that always happened?
It's always happened. When I was a little baby, my grandmother told me that the animals would gather under my crib, and they would just sit there and listen. They'd tilt their head and everything. So she surmised that I had the ability to speak with them. And when she'd take me outside in the summertime and stuff, even the bugs would come and visit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like. So she said, keep talking to him. And
verbally
I've always
talking or psychically
telepathically.
or telepathically.
I can hear, a lot of people. Some people get pictures. Some people get emotions. Some people get flashes, movies. I get full on conversations with them. First thing out of their mouth is what their problem is. It's like my owner has this problem and that problem. Can you fix it? It's not me. It's them, that sort of thing. And I can usually tell if they have any kind of pain or if they have any disease or anything like that. And I was given the gift of the laying on of hands. So I do that for them to help them. But I can get these full on conversations from them. It's like, okay, what do you want? Okay. And then I relay the message to the owner. And recently I've had 3 different people have come to me from, they sent me an email saying that my cat's missing, my dog's missing. And I'm like, just send me a picture. And I've been able to talk to the animals from a distance and bring them home. So, for me, that's really great. I like to do that. I don't charge for animal, on my website it says animal communication, and then there is a charge. But really, 9 times out of 10, I don't bother to charge because, Ariel loves animals more than people.
Oh, yeah. I can
And
see that.
at one time, I had 7 dogs. So,
Wow.
so now I have
You
2
do
pit
live
bull-
on a farm,
Yeah,
though.
I live on a farm.
Yeah.
I have 2 pit bulls and an old Springer that's going on 15.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
She's still kicking around.
Oh yeah, she's still going.
Yeah. She's the kind that just loves everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could hardly see, can hardly hear, but
Yeah.
she still keeps going.
Yeah.
Which is fine with me,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's my baby.
Yeah. And so, what's it like? I mean, do the animals talk to you all the time? I mean, at home, do the
Yeah.
baby, the
At
fur
first-
babies, and all
At
that?
first, when I talk to an animal that's a stranger to me,
Mm.
they're like taken aback because they don't understand how they can understand me.
Mhm.
And once they get over that, then it's like full on conversation about, yeah, well, this is what I want. This is what's going on. I was called in by a gentleman because one of his dogs was biting at his wife
Mhm.
and growling at his wife. And he says, "Can you come over and talk to them?" I'm like, "Okay," because I thought I was talking to one dog. I'm talking to 5. So I get over there and I said, "I'm talking to the head one, the alpha." And I'm like, "Yeah." Okay. So what he's telling me is the wife is unstable. She has a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of fear. And there's a lot of uneasiness. And they're just trying, he was just trying to help her become stable. But of course, dogs, the only way they know how to do that is to, snap or, just whatever they can do, growl at you, snap at you, try to get you, as they would another dog, to get them to straighten out, to get them stabilized. And I told her, I said, "This is what's going on." I said, "Did you just move here?" And she's like, "Yeah, we just moved from California." And I said, "You're not happy here?" And she says, "I don't know what to do." She says, "I had a job there. I'm worried. I'm stressed." I'm like, "You need to stop that." I said, "That's what's causing this dog," I can't remember the name of the dog, "to nip at you, to growl at you." I said, "Because he's reading the energy. He's trying to create a stable person, but he doesn't know how to do it. And that's the only way he knows how to do it."
Mm.
So once I let her know what was going on and everything, it stopped. Because I told the dog, I said, "Listen, I'll talk to her. It's okay. She's just, new territory. It'll be fine." And it stopped.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think what an incredible gift, because we don't always think of
Yeah.
our animals like that, the stresses that we go through.
Oh, yeah, they
that,
pick right
that
up
they
on it.
pick up on all
Yeah.
that and act out in a way.
Yeah.
And so we don't always think of that. And so what can we do to make things better? How can we, do things differently?
They think it's the animal, when in reality it's
Exactly.
the human.
It's us.
Yeah.
Oh, that dog's acting out again and blah, blah, blah. And
Yeah,
it's-
they pick up on our energy and act accordingly.
yeah.
Every dog that I've had that's passed, I've seen the soul leave.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I've seen them come back.
Right.
It just, I have my 2 pit bulls that I have now were my Dobermans that I had that were sisters.
Mm.
The same mannerisms, same body shape. They even answer to the same names.
Wow. Well, you are watching us live with June Lundgren, psychic medium, author, demon seer. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, feel free to message us on whichever platform you are listening to us on. If you have any questions for June or for any of us, feel free to message us. And we will be right back. Thanks for tuning in.
And we are back with June Lundgren, the Demon Seeker. So, how many books have you written?
I have 9 books out.
9 books?
Yeah, 9 books.
Okay. And do you have anything new in the works?
I do. I have 2 books. I have Demon Seer, The Awakening, which I hope to have out at the end of this month. I'm just in the editing. I'm halfway through the editing. And once that finishes, then I'll be able to get it out. And then I have the second in the sequel of Demon Seekers. The first one was Demon Seekers, The Journey Begins. It's like a fantasy-based book, but it's based in reality. And the new one is Demon Seekers Into Darkness. The climax of it takes place in Stonehenge, which I visited a few years back, about 3 years ago. I thought it'd be a great place to do the climax of the book. And there's going to be a series of 8 books. This will be the second one. So there are 9 archangels in the world today that are in physical form. Each one of the books is a different archangel.
Can you mention your profession outside of the paranormal stuff?
Yeah, I'm a nurse. Have been for 46 years. I spent 5 years in the military, and that's where I got my nurse's training. I've always liked to write. My first book was written. It was a children's book that was written years ago because a friend of mine, the son needed a story for his high school English class. So I wrote it in about 45 minutes.
Wow.
But it actually is a 5-star review. It's got, I don't know, people really like it. So it's like, okay. I have 2 children's books, and the rest are all paranormal. But I enjoy writing because it just comes naturally. The first book was written because God said to me, I want you to write a book. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I don't care what you put in it. He said, but I want people to understand that I do hear their prayers. He said, but I give them what they need, which is not necessarily what they want. They need to understand that. I'm like, okay, I'll make sure that that's in the book. That was my first one. It took me about a year to write. but it covers a lot of different topics, and it's about 300 pages.
Hmm.
And I think that my most popular book besides that one is The Dark Side of the Paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
I've sold a lot of copies of that. I get a lot of emails from people saying, this really helped me. It helped me to understand what was going on. And I've had a few that said it saved my life. And I'm like, well, I'm glad it helped, because for years people had been after me about it. They'd ask questions about it. And I did a body, mind, and spirit expo. And my friends wanted me, they were after me for years to do one of those, to be a vendor at the expo. So I finally caved. And I said, when you're a vendor there, you get to give a free lecture. So my friends are like, do one about angels. I'm like, no. So I said, I'm going to do one about the dark side of the paranormal. So it came time for my lecture, and I was running a little bit late because I was talking to someone. I got in there, and it was like standing room only. And I'm like, okay. Again, I did my lecture, and I sold out of my books within an hour of the lecture. And people's like, we're so glad that you talked about it. It's about time somebody talked about it. I had Reiki masters coming by and saying, we're so glad about this, because we're taught that if you think about it, if you read about it, if you say it, that you're going to attract demons. And I told them, I said, listen, if they want to find you, you don't have to do any of those things. They'll find you. Now, they have their ways. I said, so don't worry about it. So it's like the rest is history. I went ahead and wrote about it. And it's because it talks about, their weaknesses, their fears, how they work, what will protect you, what won't protect you. And people need to know that. So it was interesting.
It's a good book. I've been reading it at work to prepare for today. My coworkers were not surprised.
Which one is your favorite book?
I think A Medium's Guide is my favorite one.
Yeah.
And the kids' books.
Yeah.
My other children's book it's for children. It's a children's book. It's not, I have one called Susie's Big Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is it's a story about a little Springer Spaniel pup that comes to live on a farm in Eastern Oregon. It's her adventures with Pork Chop the pig, Oscar the barn cat, and Thomas the rooster. So there's a lot of comedy in it, and it teaches a lesson without being preachy. And people really like it. It's like, okay, one of these days I'll write another one.
There you go. Did you have a case that was probably your hardest do you have one that you could pick that was just very difficult?
I think that out of all of the ones, all of the years, I think I had one that was done from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
A gentleman approached me and he says, listen, I have a succubus,
Mm-hmm.
And it's bugging me, And he said there was an incubus here at one time. And I'm like, send me a picture of yourself
Yeah.
so I can see what's going on. And the problem is he wanted it to stay. I told him, listen, if you want this thing if you want to get rid of it, okay. I said, but that's not what I'm getting from what I'm reading from you. I said, I'm reading that you want it to stay. I said, it's not going to do me any good to remove it because it won't go. Because you want it to stay.
Right.
Finally, a couple of years later, he got back to me. He says, I'm ready.
2 years later?
2 years later.
Wow, that's
His
a long
life
time.
was going in the toilet big time.
Oh, I bet.
So then he's like, I need help. I'm like, okay, are you sure this time? And he's like, yes. And I was able to remove it. But I can't, if somebody comes to me and they want it to stay,
You can't help them.
I can't help them.
No.
That's kind of like the Tiger Demon House.
Yes. Exactly.
We're trying to get rid of a demon, and the lady of the house keeps conjuring it back up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't do
if they keep conjuring it, it doesn't do you any good. Because, like I tell some people, I'll remove it, and then you just call another one and another one.
Yeah.
I said, so it doesn't do any good. When you're ready, okay, and not
Right.
before.
I don't understand why people would ask for help and then not really want to help. Is it they want attention, or is that what it is?
That's they want the attention.
Uh,
They want, that's like I talk about that in the new book about how people, the reasons for people summoning them, messing with them. They think, oh, I'm going to summon this demon. It's going to do my bidding. Wrong. It might do your bidding for maybe a month or two if it pleases them, so that it can cause problems. But after that, they turn on you. So, hey, not my
that's
problem.
what they do. That's what they're for. Of course. They want to
people
destroy
don't
us.
think- yeah. And I've had people contact me because a witch has attached a demon to them.
Mm.
And I'm like, send me a picture. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to take that demon and I'm going to put it back on the bruja and see how they like it. And I've been quite successful at that. They don't seem to like to get it back.
Oh, I wonder why.
For some strange reason. I don't know. But it's like, okay, fine. Whatever.
So if people want your help, they can get a hold of you on your website.
Right.
Facebook.
There's
Facebook. There's all kinds of different ways they can get a hold of you.
Yeah. They go to my website. There's a contact page, and you just fill out the information.
And then, as far as your books, where are they being sold? Is it Amazon?
They're on sale. Amazon, Ingram Books.
Okay.
Anywhere that online, Smashwords.
But they can definitely find them on your website.
Yeah.
So if everybody goes to your website,
there's a link. They click on
mysticconnections.org,
mysticconnections.org.
And then they can see the
click
link
on the book,
okay.
and it'll take you to Amazon where the book is.
Okay. And then you also do readings.
Yeah.
Correct?
Then there's a tab for services.
Okay.
That I do intuitive readings.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody needs help, demonic help, they just email me, and then I usually get back to them within 24 to 48 hours.
Right.
But people need to understand I'm a nurse. I work for my living.
Right.
So I get to weekends is when I have the time to do them.
Right.
To do everything.
Well, and you have a husband. And
I have a husband and son and a
farm.
farm.
And a farm and neighbors and friends. And
Yeah.
So you're not busy or anything.
No.
So,
no.
I mean,
do a lot of radio shows.
Yeah. We're grateful you were able to come and do this. So, on a weekend.
Yeah.
So, no, I know how busy you are. And so I don't know how you find the time. Do you sleep or you sleep at work? No, I'm just kidding.
I wish.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wish. I spend like a lot of my lunch hours, editing my book and stuff.
Gosh. Wow.
As well as, it's quiet first thing in the morning and last thing in the evening when everybody's asleep. That's when I can get my stuff done.
But this is what I call passion. You have passion for what you do, everything that you do, and going back to military, thank you for your service. I know I've said that to you many times, and the fact that you served in 2 different branches of the military is incredible to me.
Yeah. 2 in the Army and 3 in the Air Force. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. And so getting your start there, and then working 46 years as a nurse alone. I mean, that's incredible.
But you're showing my age there.
Well, you said it. You said it first, or else I was never going to say
I started at 17.
That.
So
see, I didn't say any of that. So, I mean, you're only 30. So I don't know how you figured all this out, true. But but then with the paranormal and doing, the psychic readings and the demonic removals and negative removals and being on, part of our paranormal team, and then your own paranormal team, and the international stuff that you do. It's incredibly taxing on you. It's got to be, and time consuming.
The only good thing about it is that's because Ariel has so much energy. I just keep running until I finally pass out in bed.
Right. But I've noticed that when I've done assisted in removals with you, it's knocked me out for as far as my energy for days afterwards. I mean, I can't explain how much how much it draws the energy out of you.
It takes a lot out of people. Yeah.
But you alone, I've talked to you after, and it knocks you down for about a week sometimes, depending on
how
old the demon was.
Depending on if it's the longer I get out of action is usually the old demons.
Yeah.
The old demons are very, very strong, very, very intelligent.
Mhm.
And if there's I've gone in where there's 8 demons, 5 demons, then it takes me a while to recover. Or do a possession case. That
Right.
takes me a while to recover. But I still have to go to work the next day. So
Yeah. I
no
I don't understand.
Has there been any time when you're doing a removal that it's been so bad that you needed someone else to assist with that removal?
No.
Just
No. She alone can do it. Ariel alone can do it. I had a conversation with Michael one day, and I'm like, why does it take a priest weeks, months, days, years to do a removal? I said, I don't understand that. And he says, well, sometimes if they have doubt in what they're doing, in their ability to do it, or any kind of doubt about God, then it's going to take a long time. And they don't have what you have inside of you.
Mm.
He says that's the key right there. If they all had archangels inside of them, then that would be a whole other matter. It would be done. The longest Ariel's ever been forward was that possession for 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah. And then we all heard at 3 a.m.
Yes.
It's done.
Yeah. That was.
She had 11 entities in her, and we were down to the last one. And I asked, do you want to go home? I asked the entity. I knew it was hiding out from Lucifer because it was supposed to do something and didn't do it. And I said, do you want to go home? I said, if you want to go home, I'll ask Jesus to come for you. And he's like, I can go home? And I'm like, yeah. And then here comes this big white arm out towards him. And, I see Aaron and my friend parting the ways as this arm comes out.
The the only way for me to describe it without getting emotional is, and I've been a Christian since I was 25. You read all about Jesus. You hear about Jesus. But to see that arm, I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to describe it. But to see that arm come through in nothing but glowing peace, I'm tongue-tied. But you guys know I am never. To see that arm, I thought, dude, if you're not going to take it, I am. When the Almighty, Jesus Christ hands out His arm and offers that to you. Well, I mean, it wasn't to me, obviously, but I mean,
the demon denied it, though.
Yeah, and I thought, what is wrong with you?
No, I don't trust it. You're lying to me. And so Jesus withdrew His hand. And then I said, so be it. Ariel said, Lucifer, come forth. And Lucifer appeared at the end of the hallway and started walking towards us.
Okay, now this is what freaked me out, because when I trust her with my life, I trust her with my kids' lives, but when I heard her say, when she called Lucifer, I thought, woman, you lost your mind. You're calling Lucifer. And then he came. I've never told you guys this for a reason, because this is something that, and I never spoke about it publicly. So, but when I saw him appear at the end of the hall, and I knew it was him, and in all black, standing, and I didn't see his face. He wouldn't show his face to me, which is fine. I mean, all this is happening in the same location, the same time, and he's appearing in this black suit, black fedora type hat,
spats, yeah,
and starts walking down the hallway, and I'm, backing up kind of, because I don't know what to expect, but I trust her, and Jesus is there. So I'm like, okay, I'm good, but I'm scared. I'm not gonna lie, and he just didn't look at me, which is fine. I turned my head anyway. I'm looking at Jesus's arm. But at that point, he was kind of backed away anyway.
Back away, yeah.
And then you take it from there.
Yeah, and then
I didn't say a word.
and Lucifer went to the woman and said, demon, come with me. And the thing said, no, I'm not going with you. I'm not going anywhere with you, because he knows what'll happen. Lucifer will kill him, and because he went against him. And Lucifer looked at me and said, I know you don't want me to rip the demon out of this woman because it would kill her. He said, so I'll be back. And he turned around and walked down the hallway and disappeared. And so that was the last demon to go. So we all went to our respective beds. And at 3 a.m., we all woke up and heard it's done.
All at the same time, but we didn't know it until the next day when we talked.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who brought it up first, but it was like we all heard a voice saying it's done. And it woke me up, and I looked at the clock. It was 3 a.m. And then same thing happened to you. Same thing happened to the other person that was with us. And I still can't. I don't talk about it because it's not something that I share, because first of all, I don't want everyone to think I'm crazy. And here we are on live. And so, first of all, no drugs, no alcohol, no hallucinogenics,
No caffeine.
no caffeine, and again, I still can't really believe that it happened, but it did. We were there. The three of us were there with this poor person who was possessed, and again, it was like being there watching a movie, but firsthand. And it wasn't just seeing, as you feel things. You feel. Well, I felt first the possession, the person. She took a cross that I had, and I've never seen anybody chuck a crucifix across the room that's so powerful like she did.
Yeah.
Well, I never got it back. I left it with her in the end, which on purpose.
Well, when you have 11 entities in you.
Yeah. And I'm not an exorcist, so let me just be clear. Yes, I'm a minister, but I'm not an exorcist. I don't claim to be, and she doesn't need my assistance. But she asked me to come along, and I was there as a minister, so to help the person, not the demon, but the person. And that's what I do when I go with her, is I help the people that are involved. She does all the work, I help the people, so that's why I'm there. But and I'm grateful for being there, because I've been a million times after, to help with it.
It gives them comfort.
Exactly. And so, but the feeling, and I can't tell you that feeling when, first of all, Jesus shows up, and then Lucifer. So we'll leave it at that.
As paranormal investigators, we pretty much run into anything and everything.
Yeah.
So, if we haven't seen it yet, we're probably going to see it another time.
Absolutely.
Wait till you meet a harpy. They've been quite active lately.
I've already got other issues I'm dealing with. I don't need no harpies.
Why not?
That's what I call them. They're demons with wings and claws, and the feet no longer have regular feet. They have claws for feet, and they're kind of cool looking, but they're nasty. So there you go.
Alrighty then.
I got enough on my plate. I don't need harpies right now. I got Bigfoot fighting dogmen, and I got skinwalkers in my backyard. I'm okay.
And I'm sitting here looking at Aaron like it's already twisted in his mind.
First, he said harpies. Let's just clarify that. Harpies. Okay. Let's not go in the other direction. Let's clarify here. All right. So, there's so much that we don't truly understand, and I'm still learning. We're all still. That's why, if any paranormal investigator tells you they have all the answers, or minister or priest or anyone else, run in the opposite direction, because we don't have all the answers. That's why it's called investigating. We investigate. It's research. It's paranormal research. That's what we're doing.
You constantly learn, and people don't understand that demons evolve.
Yeah.
Sometimes de-evolve, unfortunately. I've run into a couple of them. If they were human, I'd say they were sociopaths. They're just like, do not conform to the usual demon thing.
Uh,
And they're like, they don't even have the other demons actually shun them because they're not normal even for a demon.
Oh, wow.
and
okay.
if you get other demons that shunning them, yeah, there's an issue there. So I just have to kill them and stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mm.
they'll kill them, so it doesn't matter.
Well, see, this is why we preach. I mean, we're all 3 different groups, but we're all one big para family, and we always preach para unity between
Yes.
groups,
Yes.
because there might be something my group comes into in a contact with.
Right.
We don't have all the answers, so I got to get on the phone. Hey, Aaron, I got this going on. I'm lost, and then he'll be like, "All right, I know somebody."
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
have a friend that I removed like 5 demons from in Chicago, and he says he threatens people. I have an exorcist on speed dial.
You know, and that's
Stop
the great
that.
thing about the Oregon Ghost Conference. Perfect plug. You're welcome, Rocky. But no, but seriously, and that's what I love about the Oregon Ghost Conference is there's so many people in the para community that
You
get
get to
together,
network,
and and you get to network, and so why can't we all be friends and work together? It shouldn't be, well, my team against your team and your team against their team and da da da. No, let's all work together. Why can't we?
Yeah.
You know,
I
we've
mean,
all heard this before, and I'm not going to get on a
Well-
soapbox about it, but really, but
Well,
we
you
all
know,
need to work
it's-
together.
Well, it's like the other group from my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
They came out to the Oregon Ghost Conference. I was trying to hook them up with everybody else.
Right.
They were starting out. I'm like, come on out, talk to everybody, network.
Yeah, exactly.
And they showed up and went, there's nobody famous here. We're out.
Really?
They were expecting like Zach Baggins,
Oh.
and
Not likely.
Ryan Buell, and
Yeah, not
it's
not
like,
likely.
no, this is the Oregon Ghost Conference. These are local people. They're all
Yeah.
famous in their own way. You just need to talk to them.
Right, exactly.
What is it about being famous? Zach started out like everybody else.
Right.
He
Exactly.
happened to catch a break. You know, a lot of these people just caught a break, you know, regular people. So what? You know, I mean, we do it for the passion because we want to help people. That's why we do it. And we have passion for the paranormal. We have passion for spirits, you know, the other side. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you started your group. That's why you started your group. That's why you do what you do and started your groups. You know, I mean, that's why I did mine. I mean, this is why we do what we do. You know, if we didn't, then we shouldn't be doing this.
There.
Yeah.
Which most people
And-
don't want to deal with.
Right.
And
You
most of
know,
those famous people, anyway, they're more into it for the money.
The
I
show.
think
the
some
show,
of them, yeah.
And
The recognition.
the local people will know more than what the famous people.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, I mean, like you look at Ryan Buell from Paranormal State.
Mhm.
He's gone way downhill. I mean, he was scamming money, and okay, I'm going to hold a conference, and
That's
that's
sad.
$200 a ticket, and
I don't know.
then we're not going to do the conference now, but there are no refunds.
That's
So-
sad.
It is, and I don't know the details. I don't know him. I don't know what was going on in his life, and so I'm not going to comment on
See,
it. But
When
I
they
know
had
there's
the,
a lot of
when
people
they had the
that-
show, I love the show
Paranormal
because
State, yeah, I did like it.
They would help people, actually
Yeah.
help people. They would bring in
Yeah.
a psychologist. They would bring in a priest. They would bring in a medium.
Yeah.
Whereas most of these other ones, oh yeah, we got our evidence. We're gone.
And that's what I don't understand about some of the shows.
I don't
Okay, let's capture evidence. Okay, now what?
Yeah.
You captured evidence.
Are you gonna help the
Now what are you
people?
going to do? You don't say that you've helped anybody.
Right.
Now what? What's the point?
That bothers me.
It bothers me a lot too, and I just choose not to watch those shows or mention
Yeah.
them
Right.
because what's the point?
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
You can be the judge on what you enjoy to watch, you know. But for me, yeah, I'm in it because I want to help people. That's
Right.
the whole point in doing
We're
this.
not in it for theatrics.
No. We were going to do that, then we'd be a different show.
And
So-
it's like I tell people, it says I don't charge for demonic removal
Yeah.
because it's God's work.
Right?
I said, you don't charge for God's work. But I've had people tell me, well, we do. I'm like, goody for you.
Yeah.
I said, you don't do what I do either.
Exactly.
And
So-
I don't charge, so what's up?
Well, it looks like we've got to go to break.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
After this break.
welcome back to Paranormal Crossings Into Light with our special guest, June Lundgren.
All right, June, I got one fun question for you.
Oh, good.
All right.
I like that.
All right, now in DBK, we have 3 pillars that we stand by: help the living,
Uh-huh.
help the dead,
Mhm.
and then bucket list.
Okay.
Because as paranormal investigators, we always want to hit
Yeah.
those that one dream location to go
Right.
investigate.
Yeah.
So, what is your dream location? All expenses are paid. They can fly you out tomorrow. What is one place you'd like to see?
Darren's paying.
Penhurst.
Penhurst.
Oh,
Yeah, there's some demons there I'd like to
Yes.
remove.
oh, I'd love to
I've been
go
to
there.
Alcatraz, so that's not a big deal.
All right, guys, road trip after the show.
All
Yeah,
right.
there you
Penhurst, we're on our way. No, I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Watch out.
Yeah, watch out. Good question.
All right.
All right, quickly, what's yours?
You caught me off guard. I didn't
I
have
did.
one ready, man. I just
Come on,
That's
you've
our-
already been to the Stanley, so that was your like number one that you've
that's
been
mine,
to.
Yes, but
But bucket list one. All right, you
Bucket
think about
list.
it. What's yours? You asked the question. I should have
Oh,
gone
it
to you
probably-
first.
I think for me, Ion Castle down there in California.
What's it called?
Ion
Ion
or
Castle.
down there in Ion.
Okay.
It's God, what's the name of that place? Sorry,
Banging the
but-
mics.
Yeah, Mike's. But yeah, it's that castle or building down there. It used to be
Preston Castle.
That's it. Yeah,
Preston. Okay. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, because like I said, I've already done the Stanley multiple times.
Mine used to be your friend, your old friend, in England, but she sold it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Used to
the
be.
cage.
Used to be
The
the
cage,
cage.
yeah.
Used to be the cage.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, of course you have. But for me, Waverly. Waverly,
yeah.
is it Waverly Asylum?
Asylum.
Yeah.
Asylum.
Waverly would be cool.
Waverly, I think,
Yeah.
would
That
be,
would be
one
cool.
of the top.
Yeah.
I would say one of the top, yeah, for
Yeah.
me. Penhurst for sure. For sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Penhurst would be fun
Yeah.
and interesting. I've
Yeah.
been to the Tower of London. I've
And this
been
way,
to
as
all
far
those
as
others.
not as far as helping people, obviously, but just
The experience.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, just the bucket list.
Yeah,
Lep
bucket list.
Castle.
Yes, that was the other one. I couldn't remember the name, and I didn't want to sound dumb, so I didn't. So, all right, what's yours?
Penhurst, the other place that you said.
Penhurst, perfect, awesome. Well, June. So one more time, you tell us how can the public get a hold of you for your, well, first of all, how can they reach you? First of all, for your books, readings, and all that good stuff.
They can go to mysticconnections.org and you can there's a contact me page, there's a services page, or you can send me a message on Facebook. It's under June Lundgren or Demon Seer, either one.
Awesome.
We'll get to you.
June, thank you so much for coming on to the show today. As always, it's a pleasure, and a pleasure for you to see me, of course.
Of course, of
Just
course.
kidding.
Naturally.
No, June Lundgren, what a pleasure. And as always, so June Lundgren, mysticconnections.org. Feel free to reach her through that website. Order her books. She's an amazing author, even the children's books, too. So, always, again, it's always nice to have you join in. Anytime you have questions during the show, live, of course, feel free to message us on any live platform that you're joining us on. And you can also reach us through our page, Paranormal Crossings Into the Light Facebook page. Send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. All right. Thanks again. Goodbye for now. We'll see you.